Friends and forever you can see her in the distance, perched on a branch, feet dangling to and fro when the crack of the rising sun commences. You can still see her slight figure when the sun cowardly sinks into its daily game of hiding. She comes into the house with shoes full of leaves. She says it's to keep the tree always near her. I say it's only for spite because, as she stated yesterday, I don't give her enough freedom. She's loved that useless, big piece of bark the way I wish I loved her father. He's not here now, he's gone, gone like that rascal of a child is now, up to nothing but mischief in that old hunk of bark. She writes poems about that tree, sings about that tree, darn. She lives for that tree. Ask me why she loves that piece of nothing, I won't be able to tell you a single accurate answer. I have asked her on numerous occasions and every time she rewards me with a different answer. The first time, I like it because it's the only place I can be alone in my head. The second time, it reminds me of Papa. The third time, I can see everything from there. At this point, I've given up trying. She sits next to me during dinner, tapping those wretched green streaked shoes on my polished linoleum as she swiftly scoops spoons of rice messily into her greedy mouth. Once she finishes, she asks, "Can I go play in my tree?" I say no. Crystal tears stain her rosy cheeks. "I hate you," she screams as she stomps into her room full of leaves, undismissed. I know she does. She comes in with dirt clinging to her pale arms, hands, and fingers. Her green eyes are shiny clear as she hands me an open letter. "Mommy, do we have to leave home?" She's honest, unblossomed, innocent, and even more childlike than her 11 years. Her eyes are as wide as my silver spoons, they are covered in fear. Her hands shake and then she's all vibration and all kinds of anxiety. She's all angst and fear. She's the epitome of anxiety and I don't know what to say, but words roll off my tongue and suddenly. I'd do anything to protect my baby girl. "No honey, mommy will figure it out, okay?" A week passes by languorously. I go to work, fill out sheets, speak, receive calls, answer calls, repeat. The money still isn't enough. She doesn't go up to her tree in the playground across the street. I can see her silhouette on the couch gazing at the cracks on the ceiling. Her eyes no longer have the glow of youth and play nor the excitement of getting dirty every day. I ask her if she is okay. She says no. I know she hates me. We're evicted from our home. I couldn't pay the bills on my own since her dad left us. It was a battle each time I sat at the round table in the kitchen trying to make ends meet. We have a week, and I pack and we move into my mother's small flat. She is welcoming, but there is no tree for my baby to climb and there is no joy in her eyes. Her green eyes quickly become pools of water and one small splash will make them overflow out of their unstable container. She asks if she can go play at her tree. I say yes. She brings a knife. I go with her. I strain my neck to view long limbs of mighty, dark brown branches that are decorated with an amenity of green leaves. Its beaconing branches and deep roots call her and she etches into the bark. Love Cherry 2010 to 2021. She had many memories with that tree and it's hard to bid adieu, and after she says goodbye, we leave. We leave our home. The air tastes sour and the clouds outside are gray. This train moves and leaves green things behind. I strain my neck backward, forcing myself to see what had once passed before my sight. In this trance of mine, I view the ancestral arms of stoic wood and bark connected to its massive trunk. The tree's beaconing branches and deep roots ring familiar to me in contrast to this unfamiliar place. Like seconds, this scene passes, and in comes another, and another. A girl is crying to her mother. A boy is picking a fight with his brother. A mother soothes a crying baby, cooing softly to it, whilst holding the living, breathing, and noisy creature snug against her chest. Someone's eyes feel heavy like bricks and someone's head craning position starts to recede into a slouched one. This same someone's head is now drooping and soon enough this someone is snoring, and this someone has a dream and that someone is me and this was my dream. A girl sat, tucked, with crystal tears dripping down her rosy cheeks and round runny nose. Long branches of a mighty oak tree cascaded down as to shade her from the unforgiving heat. She was crying because her Danny, yes, her faithful Danny, as she called him, had left her for his other boys, and she was devastated because Danny was her best friend, and oh, what would she do without him? He indifferently said to her cries of reconsideration, "Sorry Sal, but I am tired of playing with you always." You see, he chose them over her in
Are You There God? It's Me Again. Are You There God? It's Me Again. I've watched as your works have become action. I have listened to your messages and carried them to others. I have even sat for hours and days in contemplation and you have never once disillusioned me. Thank you for your words and actions. I come to you now to inquire about the Book of Wisdom. It is said that you are all-knowing and that we have within us the same powers as you have. I have seen sadness and happiness. I have known sorrow and elation. I seek to understand and appreciate others coming to me for guidance. I am reminded of your travels and scores of words, some taken out of context. However, no one can deny that you suffered for us all. I am in a time of my life where I too suffer for the idealizations of my mind, heart, and soul. I have studied and continue to study the written words of your life and the great works of your efforts. I admire your plights and compare mine to yours to a lesser degree. I have even become ordained to walk a tighter path to help those in need. Some are in great need of your lessons, while others do not care to use their time to listen. Is it not for the greater good of all to at least listen to a message? I can only imagine the plight of your day with all you taught. Your miracles of unbelievable proportion, and your sacrifices for what you believe in. Thank you for your life. I too now struggle with trite and condemnation for my beliefs. I believe it is within us all to do the work to achieve great happiness on our own paths. Considering all the lessons in the Bible, those written as well as those implied. Some people are so literal that I think they have become blind to the action of the words and have become fixated on the words as literal and abandon the messages as to be their own revelations. I believe it is in the actions we take to carry the messages that we learn to abide by them and continue to carry them to those that will listen, which is few. Many revel in the glory of your sacrifices and boast about how righteous they are. This, I feel, is a mockery to you. Your actions and words carried are for us all to interpret for our own understanding and resign to agree that the Bible is incomplete. I have begun to see that most religions are saying the same thing in different, yet similar works. I have once again begun a journey in your footsteps in my own mind, life, and actions to carry the messages that are not without faith. While others sit idly by and rant as to their righteousness and build lives and churches with ill will and false intention. You are my inspiration. I know that we are all worth in your eyes to carry the messages in our hearts and minds and to share the very same words from our own lips and tongue. That the scrutiny by others is a test of wills, a test of truths, and that I let T be a testimony of how to live, each person individual is still a piece and a reflection of you. Our trials and tribulations are a testimony of our interpretation of the works covered in the Bible. I seek truth and lessons to carry to others so that they will know you and your struggle. So that they can understand that each of us has the power to live a sacred life of accomplishment, of contentment, if not joy and happiness. That in our time of need you are always there. I try to be a reflection of you and your works and never let my faith waver. To be an upstanding being, with no self-righteousness. To help others see how they may redeem themselves in the footsteps you have walked so that we are not living a life of suffering but rather a life of abundance. That others may know your works. Even if it is immeasurable knowledge. I understand that with time others may come to know you. Even if it is for a fleeting moment in time, I find myself speaking as you. Telling others that they are entitled to true happiness. If they only walk by faith and know that in their self-discovery, they will come to have a better understanding of you and the message that we are all equal and worthy of love. Faith without work is death. But some must have the near-death experience to find you. To have an appreciation and kindle a spark to work on the discovery of your messages and subsequent mastery of self in the likeness of those who have suffered before. I have much trust and faith that my next endeavor will bring me closer in my walk with you so that I am better able to carry the messages and teach those to follow and live in the Word as well as carry the message without fear of judgment. For when we are together again in the kingdom of heaven that I will know truths unable to be seen on earth. To better understand why this is my path. And to revel in the glory of your words I carry in my soul to share with others so that they may know you as I do. Always there, ever present in us all. As some only call upon you in their hour of need and pain. Others sell their souls to avoid living the life.